What's going on, Drew Crew, man? Welcome to vlog number 9. Welcome to this side of YouTube. Welcome to DrewTube. Man, it's been like 10 since filming this. It's been like 10 days since I posted a new YouTube video. And by the time I get this out, hopefully it'll be about like 12 days. So about like 2 weeks since I posted a YouTube video. I'm trying to be consistent, but I just went on a little vacation. I'm back, and you know, I got some stuff to do, to be discussing with you guys some do's and don'ts of running a clothing brand or being like a small business owner, because this production, okay, those 2 bags full of products, okay, this past production has been hell, and I feel like I've learned a lot, and I feel like I've learned from my own mistakes. So why not, you know what I'm saying, like educate you guys so you guys can learn from my mistakes, so you don't have to make those mistakes, you know what I'm saying? All right, I think we are good skis. All right, what's going on, YouTube? So plan for this vlog is genuinely just to go about my day. I'm gonna run errands with you guys, but at the same time I'm going to be giving you guys tips and tricks and just telling you guys my personal experience with my brand. So basically the do's and don'ts of running a clothing brand, and just a little bit of tips on the small business side, because I know that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to starting and like what you need to know and stuff like that. And like, not every experience is the same, nor is every startup linear, but hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes or my experience. So to start off this video right now, I'm gonna ship some orders. I dropped some items a couple days ago, shipped out the first day orders. That's always hell. And now we got a couple more. I have a bunch of different stuff in here. I have orders for shorts, I have orders for hoodies, and I have orders for pants. I got orders for all types of things. So I gotta ship this out today. Are y'all jealous of my mug? This is like the best like mug I have. If y'all know, if y'all follow me on TikTok early back in the days, I used to like, this used to be like my signature staple thing that I used to have in every video. This chopper mug. And then I had, hold on. Everyone used to know me as having like, not everyone used to know me, stupid ass, but people used to know that I used to have the cool mugs, you know what I'm saying? So that used to kind of be like my little thing I used to do in my TikTok videos. I always get questions on what website do I use, or how do you make a website. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I ain't making no website. So I guess I would say that's my first clothing brand do. Go with Shopify. A lot of people don't know that their favorite brands' websites are ran by Shopify. I use Shopify. Shopify is like the greatest thing to ever exist, okay? Personally, if you guys want a website, or you guys are wondering how am I gonna make a website for my clothing brand, just use Shopify. Almost every brand is ran by Shopify, their site. And the cool thing about Shopify is that they're pretty easy to use, I'm not gonna lie. If you scroll to the bottom of like your favorite like brand website, like 90% chance that at the bottom it's gonna say powered by Shopify, okay? Shopify is literally like the small business, like startup brand thing. But honestly, like I've seen a lot of big brands use Shopify. I am a Shopify girl. I don't think I'll ever make my own website. I just think that Shopify is best, to be honest. It's easy, it's user-friendly, and honestly, it is affordable, I feel like, to maintain. But my one thing about Shopify is that you need money or a consistent income source to power your Shopify and keep it going. So you have to kind of weigh the pros and the cons, because it might be more affordable for you to pay a one-time fee to make a website and then run it from there, rather than keep on paying to upkeep a website, you know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I will say about Shopify, Shopify will not let you use a PO box as a shipping address, okay? So basically they make you use your home address, but a lot of people don't know that you don't have to use your home address as your shipping address in Shopify. But I would say if you have like a certain following, or you have a certain crowd, or you know that people are going to buy your stuff, I would say open a private mailbox, because Shopify will not let you put a PO box as your shipping address, okay? And if you don't want people to have your home address or whatever, open a private mailbox. It's basically like having a PO box without it being labeled as a PO box. It comes out as like a street address, and Shopify will accept that. So my second tip is open a private mailbox if you're gonna use Shopify, because I know a lot of people, and I know myself, like with me having a following, like I don't want my home address on there. It's gonna be a certain fee a month, which is why I say this is not necessarily something you have to do if you're running like from the bottom, like from ground zero up. I highly recommend doing that after a while, just because you don't want your business like out on the internet or on every like forum or whatever. Or to be honest, you can use a friend's address or something. I remember before I opened my private mailbox, I was using a homie's address, and yeah, he didn't really care that I did. So, because he was like never home. So that's exactly what I did. Medium, small, large right here. So now here's my third do, but my first don't. When you run a clothing brand, obviously you're gonna need supplies. You're gonna need mailers, plastic mailers to put your products in. Before these, you're just gonna need like certain stuff. You're gonna need shipping labels, like literal labels to put on the packages, you know what I'm saying? And so my first don't is, do not buy your supplies in bulk off of like Amazon or like those certain stores. But my third do is you need to buy your supplies from like a supply store. So you can buy them in bulk for like, you know, bags for like 10 cents each that come in like a huge box of like 500 and you grab it for like $100 type of thing. Okay, so I'm done with this week's earlier order. So I'm actually gonna run to the post office. I need to drop these like 30 off real quick before I start on that pile over there. So I'm gonna take y'all along with me. I'm gonna still keep dropping them tips, them do's and them don'ts, and yeah. I'm gonna switch to the phone though, because I don't be liking to hold the camera. So I'm not gonna lie, all my bags are literally used up. Right there, right there, right there. All my bags are used up, so I'm actually gonna have to pull up to the post office with a trash bag full of packages. But that's okay. Here. Alright, so another do that I have is LLC or trademark your brand if you're really serious about it. But on the contrary, this is not something that you need to do off the bat. It's not like something that you need to do on the first day. An LLC is not something that you need to start business. But if you're serious about your brand and it's really gaining traction, I would definitely trademark LLC your brand. But just know that it is not something that you need to do. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I love driving stick. I'm not gonna lie, I love driving stick. I don't know, it's so like annoying in a city like Los Angeles where there's a lot of traffic, or it can be, bruh, they want me to put my seatbelt on, I'm about to go down the street. It could be so annoying sometimes on like a long tiresome day when there's a lot of traffic and you just don't want to deal with like shifting. But I'm not gonna lie, I love driving stick. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that second car, that's coming real soon. It's gonna be automatic, and I need me an SUV, but you know I like my performance, so think about what I'm thinking about. Y'all know what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get it by next year, like first half of next year. I'm trying to get a little, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to get a little Trackhawk or the SRT. I really want Trackhawk because for me it's like go big or go home, but we'll see what happens. It was literally between the Jeep or the Durango. But honestly, like the Durango SRT, I ran too big. Like it's too long. It has too much space in it. Like the Jeep is big, but it's a little bit more compact, and I like that about it. So see gas prices, bruh. Gas prices are still out the ass in California. It's insane. But yeah, we gotta fill up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do what we gotta do. Look how much it takes to fill a Honda up here. It's ridiculous. $75 to fill up a Honda. I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't know. I've been feeling like every time I see it, I'm just like, wow. This ain't nothing new, honestly. LA has been, gas has been at like $7 for like the past 5 months, so it's nothing new. But every time I see that, look at that. $74.36 for a Honda. Destroy Lonely's album, bro. I'm not gonna lie, My Gang probably has to be like the best song. Okay, my name is Lonely, but I'm not alone. I move with a hitter. Yeah, I move with a pistol. For that bitch that move to her sister. Damn, my move keep switching. All right, we back. Same position we was in the last time. But let's get on with these do's and don'ts, because if y'all don't know, I wrote them down in this little book. Is this focused? Is that focused? Cool. My next do and a don't in the do is a printer, okay? Getting the right printer is the most important part of your business, okay? If you run a small business, you absolutely need a label printer. I'm not talking about a literal printer, okay? I don't even have a literal printer. You can run a business without a printer. I'm talking about a shipping label printer. And I hate to do this. I really hate to absolutely just shit on this brand, but please, I am begging y'all to not get DYMO, okay? And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, well, like, it's the most reputable brand, like, it's a good brand, everyone has DYMO. Do not get DYMO. And once you buy this shipping label printer and you have it for a while, you know exactly why. Everyone has a DYMO, and a lot of people will tell you to get DYMO, but this is the most faulty, most constantly troubleshooting printer you will ever have in your life. When it's working, it works fine, but when it doesn't work, it won't work. Mine, I had to troubleshoot mine on so many occasions that after a while, like, I don't even think it even connected to my computer anymore. The literal printer itself is working, but there's so many different like internal problems and software problems with it. It's not even worth it. I'm telling you, just heed my warning. Listen to me, do not buy DYMO. Do your research and buy a good shipping label printer. Now, I will show you guys the one I have since I don't do DYMO anymore. So I have a Munvine shipping label printer. Now, this is like a small business owned shipping label. And I'm not gonna lie, it's really not that bad. After doing some research, I finalized on this one. It has given me zero problems. It has the easiest setup ever. And honestly, I really love this printer. The only thing I will say, the labels feed through the back. And if you're gonna be printing off like a whole bunch at the same time, one thing that you're going to want is like a label holder. So it's like sitting up like this and it just feeds through the front. So Munvine is a great shipping label. It's a small business. It's affordable shipping label printer. Okay, so now let's start getting into some brand specific things. Like once you finally start your brand and you're pumping out clothing, I'm gonna give you guys some do's and don'ts. These are gonna be really quick. I run a cut and sew brand, so I don't necessarily print on blanks. I don't do Alibaba. I do everything in person. So my advice may vary. It may not apply to you specifically and what you do and how you run your brand, but regardless, I'm gonna give out my advice because you could be caught in a situation like this, or it could help you, or you could be doing exactly what I'm doing, cut and sew, and you know what I'm saying, you're gonna need this advice. So my first do, okay, and I'm gonna just say this before any other advice: invest in marketing, okay? Your first impression is everything. First thing people set their eyes on, so is that the Instagram or the website. That's what matters the most. That's what's gonna hook people in. So when you start putting your clothes out and you start making that money, bro, throw that money back into the brand, but not into like clothes. Fixing up your website, making your Instagram look pretty, hiring models, that stuff is very important because it's the first thing that people are gonna see before they actually get to the product and put it in their checkout and buy it. And you know what I'm saying? Invest. Always roll your money. It's the same thing with YouTube. When you start like getting your followers and your subscribers up and you start monetizing, you start making money, you want to put that money back into your equipment. Like, so it's the same thing with the brand. I try not to use myself as a model. I try not to put myself on my brand page. I try to find models. I just try not to make it like look like, you know what I'm saying, a certain way. Invest in your company. Something you don't want to do is over quantity some of your first couple of drops. You don't, even if you have the money, if you know that your brand is just beginning, or if this is your first, or if this is your second, or if this is your third drop, do not just go crazy and do like a 200 piece drop, 300 piece drop. You have to like kind of do a couple drops and kind of look at your analytics and kind of see what sizes are selling, what sizes sell less, what sizes sell more. And you kind of got to get a feel for it before you can really get your quantities on lock and all that different stuff. So one advice that I would give, don't overdo it on your first drop. Luckily for me, since I already had a following before I did the brand, I was able to do a big drop the first time. And luckily it sold, like it did well. Like I sold out on my first drop, my first couple drops, but that was a risk. Do you know what I'm saying? Because who's to say that all those were gonna sell out? The most important thing in a drop is to always at least make your money back that you put in. That is always the goal. That is the goal. And then the profit is the fun part. The profit comes when the profit comes. But your goal should always be to make your money back in a drop. So when you overdo a drop and you don't make your money back and it undersells, now you've just put a lot of money into a drop that you're not gonna see your money back right away, over time, or not at all. So be smart with your drops, be smart with your quantities, and don't overdo it your first couple times. Third, don't. Listen, man, do not. And this is only gonna apply to some people, because I know like if you do like Alibaba or something like overseas, you have to pay for your service, you know, before, you know, the service gets done and then, you know, gets shipped back to you or whatever. But if you're doing something locally, whether it's cut and sew or you're just buying blanks and taking it to like print shops, bro, because this has kicked my ass a couple times. Do not pay for your stuff until you have thoroughly checked it over, okay? Have someone write you an invoice, grab that invoice, and pay that junk when you have checked everything. As you guys can tell from the beginning of the video, I said I had to take some stuff back because they weren't done right. I recently did a drop on a pair of overpants. Okay, this was like my worst, most stressful, headache-induced production ever. And I'm gonna get into that because that's gonna be like the next don't. But to make a long story short, when the pants were done and I went to go pick them up, they were all in bags, so I couldn't inspect them, but I wasn't going to anyway because I'm a dumbass. I got the invoice, and since I was going out of town the next day, I decided to pay my manufacturers then and there. That was my first mistake, okay? That was my mistake, because you should, I'm telling you, always check over your stuff before paying. Because when I got home and I opened them up to check them, like, oh man, these look good, I noticed something's missing. They don't have tags on them. They don't have tags on them. And I already paid for a service that wasn't done in full. Do you see what I'm saying? So I had to, you know, I had to get angry. I had to like really like put my foot down and be like, what is this? You know, And mind you, this production hasn't been easy already. So this was like the cherry on the cake. I was like, what the hell? On top of that, when I asked what happened to the tags, why they aren't on the pants, we lost them. So that brings me to my next do. And I think this is really important. And again, this is only gonna apply to people who really do local production. But if you are dealing with manufacturers head on, face to face, and you bring them materials, because if you guys don't know, running a cut and sew brand, like, let me give you guys an example. These are my overpants I just dropped. Detail on every piece is sourced and bought and picked by me. So this zipper was personally looked at and sourced and bought by me. This little snap was personally sourced and bought by me. These strings were personally sourced and bought by me, personally picked. This fabric was personally picked out, sourced by me. These side snaps were personally picked and sourced by me. So every detail is by you, and you have to buy every little thing that goes on a piece of clothing, which is what your Alibaba or your overseas people do. They do the same thing, but you're just basically doing the production. So the reason why this past production was hell was because my manufacturers kept losing things, okay? And when they lose things, you have to go and buy some more because they lost them. So let's say if I made 60 pair of pants, I would bring my manufacturer 60 pairs of strings. They would text me a couple days later saying, we're missing 10 strings. Me, knowing that I bought 60 strings, I know I'm not missing 10. So here is my first do. If you're doing local production and dealing with your manufacturers face to face, you need to write the quantities down, something on paper, have them sign that after they count in front of your face, because these manufacturers will sit here and everyone's like this when something's lost, but you know you bought that certain quantity, but you have nothing to fall back on because they could say, well, you didn't give me 60. So to cover your own ass and to save you money, you have to have some sort of, you have to have them sign something. You have to have them sign something stating that they have received 60 amount of this, 40 amount of this, 120 amount of this. Because it's ridiculous. Like, no one wants to take the blame for it when shit is lost. So they will try to, you know, that's gonna come out your own pocket. But if you have them sign something, nah, that's gonna come off your pay at the end. Yeah, something that I highly suggest doing. Get industrial bags. Everyone has to put their packages into a bag and haul it to USPS or UPS or FedEx or whatever. And these bags right here, these are absolute lifesavers. I don't know if you guys can like see the material, but it's literally like what Amazon and like USPS and FedEx use. Get some of these bags, okay? These are like literal like United States postal mail bags, and you can actually just go up to USPS or UPS and ask for if they have extras and they'll give it to you. So definitely go to your local post office and ask them if they have some of these bags and if they'll give them to you, because you can drag these bags on the floor, you can do whatever and they just won't rip. Like, it's like little stuff like that that like really helps you in the long run, or like it makes your life a little bit easier. I'm trying to think of what other tips I can give you guys. Let me think of a good last tip. Listen, do not be afraid to reach out to other people to promote your stuff. Now, I am saying that not from a brand owner perspective, but from an influencer perspective. Because if you guys don't know, if you guys are watching this video and you have no idea who I am or whatever, not saying like I'm some, you know, but I did TikTok, okay? I blew up on TikTok. I did fashion on TikTok. And although maybe I haven't with my brand reached out to people to send them or promote my, you know, my stuff, I would have a lot of small brands reach out to me and I'd accept their stuff because it was dope. And then they'd hit me back and be like, yo, you know, you just got me like 25 sales, you just got me like 30 sales, you got me like 50 sales. That is like really important marketing. That's a marketing strategy, you know. I know people are different. Some people are like, nah, I'm gonna get on my own, you know, kudos to you, But I'll tell you, one efficient way to get your stuff out there is to reach out to influencers, okay? The internet is such a powerful place. There's so much networking you can do online. Reach out to your influencers, reach out to celebrities if you're ballsy enough. I've had some mutuals who started their small brands, reached out to celebrities and big like influencers, and they'll hit back like, yeah, this is dope, let me do it. I've heard of some people who just threw the net out there, message all their favorite influencers, message all their favorite celebrities, just threw the net out there, see what they would get back, and they would get stuff back, and then they would send their products out and it did well. So don't be scared to reach out. Don't think that your stuff is not good enough, because you miss all the shots you don't take. You never know who could answer back, and you never know where that could take you. Another do, and I know that this particular step is hard when you're first starting, have your drops planned out. This is hard when you're first starting and things are so unpredictable when making clothing, whether it's coming from overseas or with cut and sew production, you know, they're lagging on your stuff. Cut and sew production is extremely like unpredictable. You think you're gonna get something done in like 3 weeks and next thing you know, it's 3 months. So what I'm more so saying is have ideas already lined up. So once you drop something, you already have like the next product or idea or print in mind, graphic, whatever. Have your stuff planned out, pre-planned. I always say this, write stuff down. When I say planning out, it doesn't literally mean having things in motion. It can literally just be writing something down. But have your thoughts planned out, have your pieces in order, have your drops organized, have stuff planned out, because it's a really crappy situation when you come up with something amazing on your first drop and then you don't know what else you're gonna do, when you're gonna do it, and when something's coming out next. Because if you have a good product and it sells and that was a great idea, people are gonna want more. But when you've only thought so far ahead, it gets, you know, you get a little like, damn, like what are we gonna do next? Always be one step ahead and have things planned out. If you guys have any more questions or brand tips, or if you guys wanna know certain stuff, drop it in the comments below, because I'm more than happy to help you guys with like general questions. If you're watching this and you're a new person and you like this video or you like the stuff, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, but then also follow my brand, The Warmest Colors. I'm a cut and sew brand here in LA. I put out quality pieces, and yeah, go support your girl. I dropped some shorts, these nylon parachute pants. I dropped 3 colors of my 2-tone hoodie. Yeah, I got some more stuff coming out. If you guys like my advice and you guys like my vibe, go check out my brand, because my brand is a direct reflection of me. You know what I'm saying? You're in color. And the warmest colors, you know what I'm saying? So listen, go show me some love. And yeah.
Smoking on exotic. The shit that got me fried. Bitch, she fucked the bro.